Todd Sanders here. Wanted to give a brief introduction and demonstration of a prototype tool that I've created called puppetize, which will convert satellite 5 configuration channels into Puppet modules. So the first thing is we'll switch over here to my Spacewalk server, and you can see that I have one configuration channel defined. If we take a look at that, you'll see there's 3 different files represented in that channel, representing the 3 different types of files that are supported. The first being a symlink, the second being a directory, and the third being a simple flat file, and that flat file contains 2 of the substitution macros. So now we'll switch over here and take a look at the configuration for puppetize. You can see this lives in etc puppetize, and there's actually 2 files in this directory. The first is a mapping JSON. We won't dig into this in too much depth right now, but basically it's a mapping between spacewalk macros and factor facts. And the second is the actual comp file, which we'll look at for just a second. And you see it's very simple. First is the spacewalk or satellite server that you want to export config channels against, including the credentials. And then in the Puppet section basically is just around a working directory and output directory for the module itself. So that's fairly straightforward. So we'll switch over here and we'll actually go ahead and run the tool. So we're going to do puppetize, and we're going to pass in a configuration channel that we want to turn into a module. And as you remember, if I switch back over here, my channel name is my config channel. That's the label. So we'll go back over and we'll do that. We'll run that tool. It returns. And then, as I mentioned, sort of over in the overview, over in the temp directory, you'll now see the module has been created. And by default, basically, it takes the org name dash the configuration channel name, which will be the class name as well. So the next step here, very simply, is to build the module. So we're going to do puppet module build, and we're going to pass in this here, which is the module name, and we'll build that. So we've successfully built the module. Now the next thing to do is, with this module built, we could obviously upload that into Foreman or Catello and put it into a Puppet repository to then be used. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to install this locally. So I will do puppet module install, passing the location for the module itself. And then, because I don't want to pull anything in from Puppet Forge, I'm going to ignore dependencies. And we'll run it, and you can see that it has successfully been installed. So now that that's successfully been installed, I can go ahead and actually apply it, and I'll go ahead and apply it to this system because it's going to make some changes just to validate that indeed this Puppet module, when applied, does create a symlink, create a directory, and create a file with the appropriate substitution happening. So I'm just going to go back here and run a puppet apply command, which is going to include, again, the class, and the class being the name of the configuration channel. So I'll run this, and you can see we've had a successful run. And if I list here, you're now going to see that puppet log, which is our symlink that was created, has truly been created. The second thing is the test directory. That test directory has been created. And the last thing is this test file. And if we open up the test file, actually we can just cat it, you'll see that the appropriate substitutions have taken place with both the host name, and of course this being localhost local domain, and my IP address. So simple as that. That's how the tool works. In a subsequent screencast, I'll get into how you can actually define or declare custom parameters, and then use those parameters with smart variables to actually substitute what you want or customize key value pairs and things of the like. So we'll dig into that a little bit later. Anyway, thanks.